Hello. So, welcome to another sketchbook tour video. I have two sketchbooks that I finished in December, these two little guys. So, I'm going to be going over the blue pocket sketchbook that I used to carry in my purse with me all the time. I will go over the red one in another video, otherwise this video is going to be way too long. So, the blue one is the one that I carried on the daily. The red one has a private sticker because it was supposed to be a kind of an extension of my journal, just where I could draw things out and it would be like my private thoughts. And that lasted for maybe a few days, and then it just became a regular sketchbook because I loved the size of it. But I will get into that whenever I go over that sketchbook. For now, we're going to go into the blue one, which is sketchbook number 4. So for this one, I put stickers on the back, and then I drew on the front of it with the Sharpie creative markers, the acrylic pens, and I really like the design now. I didn't like it just plain blue before, and I didn't feel like putting stickers on it when I first got it, but I really love how the Sharpie creative markers stayed on this cover the whole time. So let's get into it. So for the inside cover, I wanted to try a bunch of different mediums to make my cute little strawberries. I used colored pencil, acrylic pens, I think the Arctic's acrylic pens, and I used it for that design as well. And I used, I think it was these colored like gel pens. This spread right here was done with colored pencil. I had just ordered the Arctic's, I think it's 160 set. I didn't have any colored pencils in my collection because I had just gotten started again with art last year in May, and I think the first thing I went for was alcohol markers, and then I decided I wanted to use colored pencils. So I got the Arctic's ones because they were very affordable and they were very soft and easy to blend, before later jumping to Prismas and Faber-Castells and so forth. So this spread was completed with gouache on this side, and I believe it's Stabilo Woodies on that side with the gold Posca marker for the rimmed glasses and her name. So I originally wanted to do an art hang party replay, and I got really tired and I just drew this, and I gave her a long ponytail for some reason, and then I fell asleep shortly after. So that was that spread. But it was fun. I just didn't do the art hang party. So this spread was done with watercolor. I believe it was the Grabby 100 color palette that I had asked for my birthday. Like I've mentioned before, I got back into art last year after taking a hiatus for many years. And I really did not know which brands to use, so I went with all of these popular brands like Grabby and Arctic's and Ohuhu. They were just, I saw them, they looked nice, they seemed to be very affordable, and I no longer use this palette, as you can see. I now keep my Luminance pencils in there, and I have my own watercolor palette that you've seen many times in other videos. This spread was kind of like a journalistic approach. I was trying to just draw what was going on in my day, and then I decided to make my very own stickers. I got some vinyl sticker paper and some holographic, like, I guess, laminate sheets, and I just went to town making stickers. It was so much fun. You'll see the next one on the next page. And then speaking on the more affordable art supplies, you're going to see a lot of them in this video because, like I said, I just went all in buying all of the ones that seemed popular and well loved. And as I delved deeper into my obsession with making art again, I started to realize that I should probably be spending my money on more quality things. Even though the cheaper stuff worked pretty well, I found that some of the high quality stuff worked a lot better. So Anyway, so this was my first set of carandache Neocolor 2s. I had so much fun with them, as you can see, and I was so excited that they're water soluble. I had never had an art supply like this before, but I think this is what got me into the more high-end art supplies. It was carandache, and after that, I couldn't go back. Let's see. I believe this is when I went to a Tool concert with my ex-husband, and I think I was just having a weird week. So I just didn't know what to do that week. I was bored, I think, besides the concert. Yeah. I did this with the tempera sticks, the really cheap ones that are so much fun to use. And that's like another affordable supply that I still continue to use today because they're just so much fun. And just kind of like my Ohuhu markers, I still use those. Let's see. This Hideaway Pizza spread was done with watercolor. I think it was my Koi watercolors set. I had gotten that one for my birthday. Let's see. Yeah, it was definitely the Koi set. Honestly, I have not used this set a whole lot. And today, I actually gifted it to my brother because my brother started to get back into art. And I thought, I have so many watercolor tubes and I have my own palette. And this is just collecting dust. So I think he'll love it. It was a great one. I mean, these colors are very vibrant. This spread was done mostly with Tombows and some colored pencil. I think that's all I had in my purse at the time, and I was really busy running errands with my friend and his son, and it was just kind of fun, scribbly nonsense. Those are those tempera paint sticks, and it's in the pink and the blue, and then I used my Pentel brush pen. Yeah. That one. I believe that one's Pentel. Really like the texture that it gives. It's like a dry brush type of texture. And then I started watching this YouTuber's videos that does really great hatching, and I really wanted to practice it. So that's why there's that tree. I didn't really like it. I still don't really like it that much, but I was practicing. I wanted to get hatching done. That was just a game day and a quote that I wanted to remember. Like, I'm better than yesterday or something. And then I was trying to come up with my channel name. Obviously, you know which channel name won, but for a while I was really gonna go with that one. Yeah, you can see I won, or that one won. This was from a D&D night at my friend's house. I was just kind of drawing people that were surrounding the table. It was just kind of fun for me. It was one of the first times I had ever drawn out in public, and I was really nervous, but it was so much fun. That was also when I realized that I can't draw noses very well, so I did a very tiny nose study, and then I realized I can't draw dogs either. So this didn't come out super well. That dog, though, came out pretty cute. That is Coda, and he was at my feet all game night. And they also had a cat that was in one of the rooms, and she was meowing a lot. And so I kind of drew that. That was just fun. It was fun to practice during game night and try to get over my nerves of drawing in public. That is one of my best friends. She's the dungeon master for D&D games, and she had the cat on her chair, and I just had to draw it. It was so cute. And then this was a really fun, like, color study that I did late one night when I couldn't sleep. I think I did it with colored pencil, or maybe all carandache. I can't remember. I think it's all carandache. It just looks really sketchy and pencil-like almost. This page was inspired by, I believe, some conversation that we had at one point about how they used to use people with their fingers pointed in a direction instead of arrows, and I thought it was so funny, and I was like, okay, so what would my little hand look like as my, I don't know, my directional arrow. And so I started drawing these random hands. I like that one a lot. That one's cute. Some of them I don't like so much, but I really did like that one. So the put your foot down, I was just writing and kind of scribbling that day. That day my daughter had a hockey game, and I was just at the rink, just kind of having fun. This spread was also a bunch of fun. I did not know what to draw, so I just took out the tempera paint sticks and the split solid rainbow solid paint stick, and I was just kind of scribbling with that. Just a whole bunch of fun colors. I do really like those tempera paint sticks. They leave such a nice texture because they're like translucent but very bright. And then I think I used some Tombow markers too. This was around the time that I was watching Emily in Paris. I think a new season had come out, or maybe I was just rewatching it. I don't remember, but I was trying to use my new rainbow pencils at the time, and I was just enjoying how smooth they were because I had these ones before and I didn't really like them. The color wasn't as like bright, but this was fun. And then I did a football draft, and my friend was like, yeah, you got the dream duo. And so I don't know, I was just kind of writing out people's quotes because it just stuck with me. Now, this was the day that I went to Jerry's and I picked up 3 colored pencils because I decided to trade up my Arctic's colored pencils for a more premium brand, I guess. And those are the test colors that I picked out from each brand. And that's what I drew with them. And that is when I fell in love with all 3 of them. And then I ended up getting all 3 packs at one point or another, just not at once. This was kind of like a date day that I went on, and it was really rainy. We ended up at Cafe Brazil. We had coffee. We had breakfast sandwich. We saw Twisters. It was just so much fun. It was like a little like friend date day, and it was a blast. But I wanted to remember it all, so I drew it out. This was a night that I hung out with my friend and his kid and my kid, and we went to Outback, and I just wanted to keep staying active in my sketchbook. Now, this was when we got assigned our art swap buddies, and I started to draw out my art swap buddy's pet so I could see what I was going to possibly make for her. And then I was hanging out at my friend's work, drew that, and then you can see my daughter's notes at the top because I was like, write this down. I think I was driving at the time or somewhere where I couldn't write it down, so I had her write it down for me. Yeah. Donnie Darko, Much Ado About Nothing. It was things that I wanted to show my friend who's basically been living under a rock for several years. But yeah, it was like a little note-keeping session. And then just sitting in the parking lot waiting for my friend to get off work. There is some more of my art swap friend's dog, Dudley, from the pictures that she had sent. And I decided to make stickers with this kind of like little logo. This was a day that we spent at the playground with my daughter. I think I just used my carandache Neocolor 2s and a little bit of a water brush pen. And I guess also that, oh no, I used that brush pen for the Dudley drawing. So, it's hard to try and remember what I was using way back then. I should write those down more often, like in the pages too. So that's back to some more Neocolor 2s and more of the brush pens. We were just kind of waiting to get into this restaurant, and I was just scribbling. This is when I got my 30 set of Neocolor 2s, and I was bringing it everywhere in my purse because it fit. So we were at Denny's, and I would just whip it out, and I'm like, okay, we're going to draw with it. Or we were at the restaurant for dinner, and I think at Texas Roadhouse, and I brought it out too. And I just wanted to draw everything. And that's where one of my stickers was born. The coffee cup one, because I liked the little logo on the Denny's coffee cup. And I started using these a lot. I think I only had this one at this point because I ended up picking up the rest of them in my holiday art haul at the end of last year. And I fell in love with these pens in particular. I use them all the time now, but they were fantastic to write with because they weren't smudgy like my previous set of pens that I had. And again, I was very new to the art scene, so I was starting to learn in this little sketchbook. I was learning what worked for me and what didn't. This was just a day of random things. I think I was waiting at the dentist, so I started writing some random stuff down, little bits of memories and my friend's tattoo, someone's smile. I think that was what I was going to make for dinner over on the right-hand side, the potato, corn, and bacon chowder. I make that a lot when weather starts to get colder. And I think we might have had a cold snap that day, a random one. Oh, that was a quote from Seinfeld when Susan and Elaine are putting a note out for George to see where they've gone. If you know, then you'll know. That quote makes me laugh every time. So this was when they started to re-roof my house, and I was really busy this week. The pounding on the roof was horrible for my head and my art progress, so these pages are mostly notes and not a whole lot of drawing. I was trying to remember that my friend's birthday was that day, and yeah, not a lot else. This is at our favorite sushi restaurant. It's called Kuda, and I used my split solid rainbow marker on it and just drew some of the little sushi items at Kuda. The kids absolutely love it because it's one of those rotating sushi bars, so they come on like a conveyor belt. I got to use my favorite brush pen. I had this one as well, and then I lost it and had to get a new one at the end of the year, but this one was really super cool to use at that time, and it was just a really fun little exploratory session. This was another day of busy things where I just had a brush pen and some carandache Neocolor 2s. Honestly, I don't even see the brush pen, so I may not have used it a whole lot. I think I may just have used the Neocolor 2s. But just kind of trying to remember stuff. This was another one that I really liked. Just a whole day of exploration. My Chick-fil-A sandwich, my Dutch Brothers drink, my little pharmacy trips, my trip to Half Price Books. I used the Faber-Castell and the black liner. These were two pens that I had in my purse for the majority of the month because they were so inky black but also waterproof. And since I really love adding water to my Neocolor 2s, it's imperative that I get something that's waterproof, especially if I'm just like lining with it. But that was just me exploring and trying to draw what I saw in the public space. Little did I know that I would soon be doing urban sketching. This was something that I actually did in a short where I designed a little happy birthday banner and decoration, I guess blueprint, kind of, for my ex's birthday. And then this was my daughter's birthday, so there's not a lot on this page because I was very busy with my kiddo. More sushi, and I think another outing to, I think, a different restaurant. I'm not sure which restaurant. And then we got in a car accident, and I was in the hospital, I think, drawing the car all crushed up on the side. I'm totally fine. We're fine. But the car was definitely not fine. This was the birthday party that we had for my daughter. She turned 10. And these were just a few of the little notable things during the party that I wanted to write down. I wanted to remember. This was a trip to San Antonio with some of my best friends. We were in the caves in San Antonio, and I brought my brush pen and my sketchbook, and I would just stand there and try to draw the shapes of the cave while I was in it. So it just kind of looks like a bunch of random lines, but I swear it was really cool to look at once we were in there. It was also pretty dark. And the next one is also a cave that we went into. However, they did turn off the lights during this one. So I was definitely doing some blind, I don't want to say contour drawing, but just drawing. This was for the plants that I saw outside of the caves. They were really, really beautiful. I wanted to add color, but I just never got a chance to. And there was this really cool light pole outside of the cave. Just a few little notes about babies crying in caves, because there was a family that had come down into the cave with us, and they clearly did not want to be in that cave. This is a restaurant near me, Bird Call. It's got a really cute logo. This was at a cemetery visit. I went with my best friend to go pay his respects to a deceased family member. I let him have his time while I just kind of drew in the cemetery, which sounds creepy, I guess, but it was pretty peaceful. It was nice. I enjoyed looking at the gravestones, and then there was a quote on a gravestone right below where I drew my friend. I thought it was a really cool quote, so I wrote that down. It also happened to be nearing Halloween time, so they had one of those haunted houses near his family's business, and that creepy figure beneath was at the haunted house. It was not at the cemetery. But yeah, I was like, oh no, why did I do it on the same page? It was also really, it was like a tall guy. Well, it was a guy on stilts. But this was a train that I saw in my hometown. Not my hometown, the town that I live in currently. I thought it was a cool looking train. That is a side view of my car below that, and my car's M Sport logo. I was just doodling. Went to Red Robin. I like to doodle at the restaurants because it really helps cut down on the wait time in my head, so I'm not as bored. I had just gotten a really cute glittery pen, and I loved it so much, so I was kind of writing that down, and the things that I wanted to purchase in the future. I got these calligraphy pens there at, I think it's called Pop Shelf. So they had these pens for sale individually, and that's where I found the glitter pen. That's where I found these. They were cute, and I was just excited testing out my new supplies. Because up until this point, I really had just been heavily relying on Neocolor 2s and brush pen. And there's the brush pen again, and there's more Neocolor 2s, and it was another day at Cafe Brazil and a spa. This was my daughter. My daughter drew all of this out. I think with the Neocolor 2s, you can see the difference where how she puts the pressure on them, so they come out almost looking like oil pastels. They're really cute. This was just a bunch of notes. I was at the hospital and they were disconnecting my headgear stuff, so I was excited about it. And this was when I went to go see the Joker with my best friend, and we hated it. Not the first one, the second one. I'm sorry for those that like it. We just really did not like it. This was another day out with the kiddos. We went to this barbecue place. We went to the Little Elm Beach, and we just had a lot of fun sitting at the table, sketching, talking, and just relaxing at the little beach. This was a drawing by my daughter with the first time I'd ever picked up a Cretacolor Mega Color pencil, or Cretacolor. Yeah. So I fell in love with how chunky these are and how bright the colors were. I think at that time I only had two. I had the green one and I had a pink one. And then this was me trying to do some line drawings. This is me practicing with the Cretacolor Mega Color pencils, the pink one and the green one. I didn't have reference photos for these. I just drew them off the top of my head while I think I was just sitting there watching TV or something. And I wanted to use these Faber-Castell pencils, but I don't think I ended up using them. But I had just purchased that as well at the same time that I purchased the Cretacolor Mega Color pencils. I had gotten the 12-pack of the Faber-Castells, sorry. This was when I went down to Austin with my best friend, and I did this with Neocolor 2s. And I brought a water brush pen, and I was just trying to scribble quickly. This one was done with my Faber-Castell set, the one that I had just shown you. I was drawing a made-up scene from The Hobbit. You can see the Eye of Sauron in the background. This is when I discovered that I loved the Faber-Castells and how smooth and creamy they were. It came out so beautifully, and I was just sitting there at the doctor's office making this. This, obviously, is when I went to go vote. This is the voting poll. And then I went to the park with my friend. I just had a pen, so I just started sketching out what I saw at the park. More of the Neocolor 2s and brush pen at a different park. So these are some more drawings at the park that we were at downtown Dallas, and just kind of quick little sketches with the Neocolor 2s. And that one was at a Bible study class that my kid went to. I thought that was kind of funny because the guy was very loud. This was at a really cool glow-in-the-dark park in Dallas, and that was a tree at the park. I was just trying to do some simple tree sketching because I'm not the best at landscape, so I was like, well, I guess I'll try some trees. And then I woke up the next morning and I just really wanted to use my gouache palette, and this was a cheaper one, the Hemi gouache, and honestly I really like how this one came out. I think it's kind of cute. This was kind of like an illustrative comic style day in the life layout for me, and it was so much fun to do. You can just kind of see how I filled my day with various activities. It was just so cute. I really enjoy looking at it. This was a page full of sticker ideas that I wanted to do for Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, none of these came to fruition, but I think my favorite one was the pig dressed as the turkey, because my friend does not enjoy eating turkey. He just likes ham. So that was for him. And then I was at a different park or playground with my kid, and the sun was setting, and I didn't really have a whole lot of other art supplies with me, so I decided to make kind of a silhouette. This was my first lino cut stamp that I had ever made, and I was so proud of it. It's the little cat from 100 Cats in 100 Minutes. And then I decided to make a strawberry because I love them, and I made it with my initials just because I had tried to make stamps with my name on it and my channel name, and they were coming out horribly. So I just stuck with my initials. And then I used the Bombay inks, the multiple colors that I have, to kind of make this design. I just kind of squirted them all on this piece of weird paper that I have. It's basically plastic, and yeah, I just dipped them in that and made these really cool stamps from it. I think that this is the day that I spent all day making lino cut stamps. I think I made 6 of them that day. This is that weird paper that I'm talking about, the Yupo Heavy. It's basically plastic. It's supposed to be used for watercolor or various other mediums, and it's really soft and smooth to the touch, and it's very thick, but I honestly have no idea how else to use it. I've tried with watercolors and I'm just not very good on it. So I just kind of taped that down and used it as like a little mat for messes. And it's worked pretty well. So this is another stamp that I had cut out. Oh, wait. Well, yeah, right there. I was trying to go for like a folk art style bird and flower. And then this was going out with a group of ladies that I'm in the PTA with. And this was going down to Dallas for Casey Musgrave's concert. I had my fat little man and I had filled it with this blue Bombay ink. And I was just kind of playing with it. It was so much fun. It's not the best quick sketch, but it's supposed to be the freeway going down to downtown. And then I was in the Christmassy spirit because it was really close to the holidays. And I was practicing windows and practicing cute little Christmas trees and such. It was fun. I really like the Fat Little Man pen. It's so cute to carry. It fits really nicely in my hand, and I like the blue Bombay ink in it. I did also use my graphite stick to line out the window. I think it was one of the first things I ever used it for. This is just a bunch of ink drawings that I did when I was sitting at my friend's house. I think it was with the Fude fountain pen. And then this was going to a park with my kid again, and I really did not bring a lot of art supplies that day. I brought the pen and a few colored pencils, so pretty limited palette there. Same with this. This was another day with just really limited palette, or limited colors, I guess. And then going to the park, using I think it was the Fat Little Man, but I filled it this time with the Deleter Black manga ink. Yes, because I know for sure I used it on this drawing of my friend's father at the hospital. He was actually really happy to see the cute little drawing of himself. I think it cheered him up. This was just random weird sketches. She ended up looking like a clown, and then those were blind contour drawings of several different muscle cars, and none of them look like the muscle car they're supposed to be. This was just me practicing with my Krita Megacolor or Krita Megacolor colored pencils, and I think it might have been the Luminance colored pencils as well. I know it was a colored pencil sketch. Yeah, that's the Krita Megacolor sketch. The pinky purple with the green. So I guess the other side would have been either the Prismacolors that I got or the Luminance colored pencils, because they think I got them around the same time as one another. And this, I'm trying to remember what I used for this. I think it was also colored pencil, because I had just gotten a huge set of colored pencils, and I know for a fact that this is colored pencil for sure. This is very much Prismacolor, and it came out really, really nicely. So that's basically it for this sketchbook tour, because the last 2 pages are mostly notes and me redesigning my logo. I started this sketchbook August 15th last year, and I finished it December 10th. I did start a new one on December 11th, and I'm almost done with that one, but I will be posting the Little Red Sketchbook tour video really soon, and I hope that you'll come back and check that one out. I know that this was kind of long, but hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Bye.